Get away from her, you bitch!
Hey lady, watch your language.
How do you get the images that are in your mind out of your head into a prompt and then into the video generation models so that you can make videos like this? Well, today I have a new technique that was very helpful for this video, and I'd love to share with you how I've used LLMs to help rearticulate what's in my head for better image prompts and better video generations. Let's get into it. So this video popped into my head one night. I was just dreaming about Alien. I came up with this idea where it was just ALF filibustering Ripley while she's in her iconic mech suit. So that's the idea. It's just a gag, but I'm trying to get some new approaches. So I thought, what if for this one, I really lean on Gemini, which is an LLM, and I have Gemini help me with the prompts. So I'm gonna tell you how this started, but first let's watch the entire video. It's about 35 seconds, and then we'll get into how I did this.
Get away from her, you bitch!
Hey lady, watch your language. I'm just trying to grab a snack. I'm not even a dog. Why'd you call me that? Why can't a male Machian get a meal?
Why the hell do you talk so much?
Besides, I'm doing you a favor. You've got a perfect organism problem, yet I've got an 8 stomachs to fill problem. It's a partnership. Why don't you go on and find a flamethrower while I finish off this kitty cat? Back on Melmac, this is basically a
Shut up!
All right, a lot to unpack here. So if you've seen some of my other videos, like the dinosaur video here, I talk about model sheets and character consistency and using Nano Banana, Gemini, and other tools to create consistent model sheets, like the one you're seeing here with Earl Sinclair, where he's got a front view, a 3/4 view, a side view, and a rear view. This way you have the architecture to keep your character consistent throughout all of your generations. So once I have those, the next thing I need to do is articulate the scenes through prompts. And these prompts give me the start frames of each one of these videos. And that's what I'm trying to do, is get the start frame and sometimes an end frame, especially if there's a big significant change in the scene. You have to have the end frame to sort of tell the video AI model where it needs to get. So in order to do that, there's a lot that goes into a prompt. It's not just the motion, it's the aesthetic, it's the rhythm and pacing, the acting, the style, a bunch of different things go into it. And so I want to talk about how I got some of the images that were in my head into the prompt, which then allowed the video models to print out what I thought much more accurately and without having to waste a bunch of generations to get to the end result. So here we are in Gemini, and this is where I started. I think this is one of my first prompts. And what I do in Gemini is I literally just open up the mic and talk to it. So I'm not like, this is my style, obviously everybody to each his own, but I just like to say what's in my head or say it out loud and then let the AI listen to me, and that makes the kickoff prompt that starts the conversation. So if you look here, I'm saying, hey, help me improve this prompt. I need to create a shot of Ripley from the movie Alien walking into the Queen alien room where she's in a mech suit. I want to have hyper-realistic, super detailed 4K image. Here's the prompt I'm using so far. So I'm asking it to improve this prompt. The prompt I gave it was hyper-realistic close-up shot, hyper-realistic textures. We see detailed skin texture. The woman is inside the mech suit. She is sweating and looks serious. She has a hyper-realistic skin tone and sheen on her skin. So I'm like really down, like I really want the skin to look real because that's what sells like hyper-realism, is skin textures, imperfections, that kind of thing. The mech suit metal is worn and weathered. Keep the environment from the reference photo, hard key light. There is mist, industrial lighting in the scene with lots of shadow, cinematic aesthetic. So I sort of said that out loud. I already know that I'm going to feed Nano Banana reference images. So I'm gonna feed it a reference image of Sigourney Weaver, Ripley. I'm gonna feed it a reference image of the mech suit and the environment and so on. So a lot of the prompt is sort of held within these images. Now, here's what Gemini did. Here's the refined prompt. Let's go ahead and take a look at this. Cinematic 8K close-up of a determined woman pilot in a weathered yellow hydraulic mech suit. Hyper-realistic skin with beads of sweat and grime. Intense focused expression. Lighting, moody industrial atmosphere, high contrast chiaroscuro. Is that how you say that word? I've never said that word. It's new for me. Let's take a look. Look, I'm learning with Gemini. A treatment of light and shade in drawing and painting. Look at this. This is already expanding my knowledge base. How do you say it?
Chiaroscuro.
Anyway, harsh key light from above, volumetric mist, deep shadows. Textures, There's a pattern here. Notice how it's giving the video prompt a category, a bunch of information, category, a bunch of information. So I'm already sort of learning these prompts need to be broken up in categories and sections instead of just a random stream of consciousness that I spew out into these things up until this point. Scratchy, heavy duty, metal, oily, mechanical joints, realistic skin pores, and damp hair. Background, dark, hive-like industrial chamber with flickering orange emergency lights and silhouettes of pipes. Shot on 35mm lens, gritty sci-fi aesthetic, extreme detail. This worked, actually. I dropped this in and I got this image of Ripley. And that became the start point for Ripley. And this is kind of what I'm getting at. If you can speak the language of these models and the language of these LLMs, it's gonna better articulate what you want and give you a better start point to sort of dial in what it is you're trying to get to. So if, for example, if that image didn't come out and it was whack, I would go in and retool it from a better place than just my random stream of consciousness into a video model. What else is nice here is it kind of tells you what it did and why it did that. So LLM's great companion for this kind of stuff. Another thing that was happening is as I was asking the LLM to make these things, it was going off and making videos and images. And so I had to front load another piece of instruction for this where I would say, don't create the video, just help me write the copy for a prompt that I will then use to generate a video on another platform. So that kind of helped let it understand what I was trying to do. It thought I was asking it to make videos, which is not what I wanted it to do. So anyway, hopefully that's helpful for you. One thing it did that I thought was super cool was with the character Alf. Alf is a puppet. He talks like a puppet. He doesn't have a lot of articulation in his mouth. And early on, before I started using this method, I was getting sort of mouth shapes and animation around the lip muscles that gave it more of a animation style instead of a puppet style. So I asked it to help me with that by saying, hey, the mouth is puppeted by a hand inside the puppet. I'm asking it to work on this prompt and I want to know it needs to be a puppet. So what it did, which saved the day here, is it gave me this animation style category. His mouth moves with a distinct hinged, puppet-like snapping motion, hand-operated mechanism style, rather than a realistic human lip sync, while his fur textures remain hyper-realistic. That little piece there allowed me to do Muppets so much better. So if you see more Muppet videos, just know this is what I'm going to be using. Telling it that it's a hinge, it's mechanical, and it's not animation really saved it. I mean, it still does have a little bit of texture, or a little bit of shape shifting in the gum line and that kind of thing, but I think it sells it as a puppet so much better than my previous prompts. So this is what I'm saying. Use these tools to help shape what's in your mind. Once I had all of these prompts, I went over to Imagine.art, which is where I made this video. Imagine.art is a platform that hosts a bunch of different video models and image generation models and tools for creating AI art. Go check them out. I'll put a link in the description below. So I went to Nano Banana and I made a bunch of these images. And once I had the images dialed in, I would then pretty much lean on C dance again for the majority of these shots, but it had limitations too. So for example, the shot of Ripley smashing into the button was just not working. It was having so much issue trying to, so here's a good example of where I started. So if you're looking, let me zoom in here. So this is Ripley hitting the button. Doesn't even look like her. The action is weird. I gave it an end frame only. So at the end of this, it looks a little like her, but at the beginning it doesn't. Then I had to come up with a start frame because this was just not working. Even with the start frame, we were getting really weird animation. Actually, that's kind of cool at the moment there. Pretty cool. Better, but not meeting the need. Then I came to Kling 2.1 Pro, and this is the one I ended up using because I really liked the rotation windup. It had like really good kinetic energy. It felt like, you know, there's a nice little pause at the end before she snaps into it. So just for the sake of the motion, I thought this was great. The one that ends up in the video is Kling 2.1 Pro, but I used Kling 2.5 Pro for this shot too, which I almost used because it looks pretty good, especially when you speed it up, but it just didn't have the kinetic energy, and the animation was cooler on the other one. So while there are issues with it still, like if you look at it frame by frame, you'll see like, you know, some hallucinations and some weird motion blur stuff, but I just thought it sold it so much better, so I went with that one. Some of the shots just didn't work. The shot of ALF flying out to space, this was like not what I had in my mind. And I actually settled on this one because I was running out of credits. So you can see I'm having some problems where it's just like inventing characters and weird hallucinations, and this is the one I ended up using. What I don't love about it is that this debris here is not floating and rotating as if it were in zero gravity in space. There's also not a lot of like projectile atmosphere shooting out of the hole. So that kind of bugged me. But what I did is I went into Premiere and I layered in some stuff to sort of cover it up. So if you're looking at the shot, you know, I've got some debris that I just sort of peppered on. So there's a few green screen elements that help sell it a little bit. Not the best shot, but you know, I had to end the video. I was getting in too deep and it was like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. So that's what I did. Up until this point, I've been doing ElevenLabs audio generation where I voice model the actor, perform the lines, and then I prompt those lines into the AI model and I sort of match it up in post to do the lip syncing. For the voice acting, what I did is I grabbed an entire episode of ALF and I went through the episode and just got clean audio for I got about 15 minutes of audio. He just talks so damn much, so it's easy to get clean audio. I took that over to ElevenLabs, I made a new voice, and I did another instant clone. And then I got ALF. So I would go in here, I'd hit record. Hey lady, it's fappy time, I wanna eat the cats. I'm not an actor. And then I would generate it.
Hey lady, it's fappy time. I want to eat the cats.
They'd give me ALF, and I would dial that in and have to re-perform little bits to get it to be the emotion and the enunciation that I wanted it to be. But you get the point. And so I'd get these lines, I'd download them, I'd drag them back over, and I would just match them up in Premiere. And that's the gist of it. I think one other thing I'll talk about is post-processing. Here's an example. So if you look at the left side of my screen here, you can see the raw image that came out of the video model. And you can, on the right-hand side, see what I've done to it. So I've definitely pulled down some of the reds and the oranges, made it more blue washed, and then I added this grainy element to it so that when it does play, it feels like cinema. Another thing I did in here is I added sound elements, I mixed it, I made sure that the environments had rich sounds. I think that's another thing that is super important, is that you bridge a lot of these shots together by the environment, the mix. Anyway, long story short, use LLMs, play with the tools, articulate what it is you want, and get the LLMs to describe it to the machines from the machines. I hope this has been helpful. Please subscribe. I have more of these videos coming out and I'm building in the open, as my friend Naeem says. So I'm not gonna gate any information. And if you have questions or ideas or thoughts, you can also DM me or leave me comments. I read everything. All right, until next time, thanks for watching.